Do you trust the water at your campground? Hi everybody, Mike from RV Blogger here in front of the camera, and Susan's behind the camera, and today we're making a video about Clear2O water filters, and we're making this video in conjunction with our friends over at Camper Report. Now, as you already know, Camper Report has a YouTube channel, but they also have a fantastic website with hundreds of articles all about RVing as well. Now, when you walk around the campground and you ask people if they drink the campground water, I think you'll very quickly find out that most people say no, they don't. They don't trust the water here at the campground to drink. So what do? Well, most folks actually pack water in their camper before they leave to go on their camping trip. So they have water bottles and gallons of water that they'll bring along. And you know, the problem with that is water's expensive and water's heavy. So you have to carry it from the store to the cart and get it in your car and get it in your RV. But it also adds weight to your RV. And that's not a good thing either. And then when you're done using these water bottles, you end up with a bunch of leftover plastic water bottles. And I think the world has enough of those around already. But what if there was a better way to get clean drinking water that was safe right to your RV in your campsite? Wouldn't that be a better solution than packing water for all your camping trips? Well, there's a great solution, and it's called Clear2O. And it's their two-stage system that makes that whole possibility work so well. They have their DirtGuard and they have their Inline filter, and these two products together combine to remove all the bad smelling and tasting stuff out of the water, plus all the bacteria, so you end up with great, safe drinking water for your RV. So I'm going to explain how this stuff works so you have a really good idea of that. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to use my screen door on my RV as an example. So to explain a water filter system more easily, I'm just going to use the screen door on the RV to sort of get the idea across. A screen door on an RV is like a filter, and what it does is it allows fresh air to flow into your RV, but it filters out larger objects like flies and mosquitoes. But what it doesn't do is keep out the dust and pollen that are in the air, because the screen mesh is too wide, so the dust and pollen can flow right through. So in order to keep that from getting into your RV, you might actually need a second screen door that has a much smaller mesh to it, so it can stop dust and pollen from coming into your RV, and that would give you very clean, fresh air to breathe inside your RV. A water system works in exactly the same way. And a two-stage water system just means you have one filter that blocks all the big stuff, a second filter that blocks all the little stuff, and you're left with good, clean drinking water once the water gets through the filters. Now, if you're like me, you're probably wondering, well, why wouldn't I just use the one screen door with the smaller mesh and just block everything, all the big stuff and all the little stuff? Well, that is a great question, and I'll answer that question just a little later on in this video. So that's how a two-stage filter system works. And the first stage in the Clear2O two-stage water filter system is the DirtGuard. Now, the DirtGuard acts like the first screen door in our example, and this thing will block out all of the bigger particles that you might find in campground water. Things like rust, silt, sand, dirt, you know, larger particles. This thing filters out particles down to about 20 microns. Now, would you want to drink water that's only been pre-filtered? Well, guess what? Many of us, that's exactly what we've been doing, because a lot of people use these cheapo blue filters, which cost 17 or 18 bucks, and these things filter down to about 20 microns. So when you drink the water after you filtered it with one of these blue filters, it's just like drinking kind of pre-filtered water. So that's where the second screen door in our screen door example comes in, which is the same thing as the Inline Clear2O water filter. Now, this water filter is fantastic because it filters out the really small particles all the way down to 1 micron. So this will filter out things like bacteria, chemicals, pesticides, and cysts and things that live in the water. So you really need to get down to that 1 micron level so that you get to the point where you have safe, clean, great tasting drinking water in your RV. So let's take a look at both of these products and see how they work. First of all, we have the DirtGuard itself. Now the DirtGuard is basically made of two parts. It has the outer housing, and then it has the inner filter. Now this filter is a polyethylene filter. It's solid, and this removes particles in the water down to about 20 microns in size. So rust particles, iron particles, dirt, dust, sand, things like that all get caught up in this filter. And the great thing about it is that it's washable and it's reusable. And so you use this thing until it collects enough sediment that it gets dirty. You can actually backwash the filter just like you would do with your swimming pool filter. So instead of running the water through the right way, you run the water through backwards, and it'll actually rinse out your filter for you. So it's a fantastic pre-filter that will save you money because you buy it once, you can wash it out. Eventually that inner filter will wear out, but you'll save a bunch of money in the meantime. The other nice thing about the DirtGuard is that it fits most inline filters. So you don't just have to use the DirtGuard filter that comes with it. You could use any one, but remember, these filters only go down to 20 microns as well. So you're going to mix two filters that kind of do the same thing if you do that. So what I recommend is that you use the Clear2O inline filter, because as we mentioned, this filters out debris all the way down to 1 micron. So this filter removes all the stuff you can't see in the water that's really, really bad for you, like bacteria, parasitic cysts, chemicals, pesticides, all kinds of things like that. A 1 micron water filter is excellent, and this will provide you and your family clean, great smelling, great tasting, and fresh, safe drinking water in your RV. So at this point, if you're like me, like the screen door example, you're probably wondering to yourself, well, can't I just use the inline filter itself and not have to buy the DirtGuard and save some money that way? And the answer is yes, you can, but then you're putting yourself in a position where your inline filter has to filter out all the big stuff and all the small stuff. And so this thing will get filled up much sooner than normal. And the big advantage to the DirtGuard is that it filters out all the big stuff, so this won't wear out as fast. Using the DirtGuard will extend the life of your inline filter by up to 30%. So it's totally worth, in my opinion, having the DirtGuard in the system and then going to your inline filter, which really gets out all the small stuff. So why don't we go around the other side of the RV where the water hookup is, and I'll show you how to put all of this together as if you were gonna hook it up to your RV and run some great tasting water into your RV. Okay, so we're gonna go and hook up the whole Clear2O system together. And the first thing that you need is a good pressure regulator. These inline filters are meant to run at somewhere between 40 and 60 PSI. So if you just hook this up to any RV campground faucet, you don't know what the PSI coming out of here is, and it might be too much. And so you don't want to ruin your filter. So you always want to use a good pressure regulator first in your setup. I recommend getting one with a gauge, because then you can see what the water pressure is. You can adjust the water pressure. It's just a fantastic way to run your water pressure. So we'll screw that on here first. Now, one other thing that I highly recommend anytime you get to a campsite is that you just run the water faucet for a while before you hook it up to your filter system, and before certainly you put it into your RV. The reason for that is a lot of rust and debris accumulates in the water piping system. If you just hook everything up and you don't run the water first, you're going to blow this burst of sediment right into your filter, and it'll clog your filters very fast. You certainly don't want to run that stuff into your RV. We made that mistake one time, and we had a whole tank full of rusty water, so I had to drain that thing a couple times to get it all cleaned out. So just run the faucet for a few minutes, get all that rust out of the line, and then you can go ahead and hook up your filters. All right, so now that that's done, we can go ahead and install our DirtGuard with our inline Clear2O filter as well. Now that you have that installed, top of this just gets installed to your water filter. And then your fresh water hose just connects to the bottom of your inline filter. And there you go, we're running at about 50 PSI, which is right where I have my water pressure regulator set. And that's a very safe setting for your RV. You won't blow out any plumbing pipes or anything like that. And this is all set up for us to run right into the city water line or on our RV. So the next thing we're going to do is check the water quality coming out the other end of the hose. All right, so now we're going to fill up a clear plastic cup with the water that's being filtered by the Clear2O's system. And as you can see, that looks a whole lot better than what we first started out with. I mean, look at that difference. We highly recommend the Clear2O water filter system for your RV. In our opinion, it's simple to hook up, easy to use, very easy to store with your water hose inside your RV, and it produces great tasting, safe, clean water for you and your family in your RV. There's going to be some links in the show notes down below, so if you're interested in these products, you can check them out for yourself. Please give us a thumbs up if you like the video and leave us a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts about the Clear2O water filter. And remember to subscribe to the Camper Report YouTube channel. And when you do, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time Camper Report comes out with a new YouTube video. So for Mike and Susan at RV Blogger and our friends at Camper Report, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.